I was working at a corporate job. Yeah. It was fine. It wasn't really bringing me any joy or fulfillment. If it didn't matter how much money I was making, what would I want to be doing? Yeah. I always am cooking in my spare time, and baking is just like so fun. I'm going to quit my job and just see. We first started out, we were mixing and bagging everything ourselves. So we didn't have a manufacturing facility. I just remember so clearly like spending so many hours stickering bags. Just the nature of entrepreneurship. It's such a roller coaster.
Constantly overcompensating.
I've been waiting for this show to come out. So like, oh my God, Benny and Mary Beth are making a show. Like, this is my dream.
Ava was on one episode.
Like, it's like 10 seconds.
He was I'm not surprised.
So
I'm
sweet.
Skin flawless.
He's beautiful. And in real life,
Stunning.
skin flawless.
I'm sure. I think filming that and making that show was like probably one of
the highlight of his life.
Just like so nice to see someone get where they wanted to go.
Yeah. We love you, Benny.
Incredible.
Mr. Glasskin.
We're here to talk about Emma Kula.
Yes, we are.
Yes, who is our guest here today. We are so excited to have her here. Emma is the co-founder of Stellar Eats, a healthy baking mix brand, and she is also a content creator for Kula's Kitchen. So thank you for being here. We're so excited.
We're so excited to have you.
Thank you.
I'm
so
Elle.
excited to be here.
Ava.
I'm Madison.
And this is the 20 Something Playbook.
Yay.
Welcome.
Okay.
Yay.
So Emma, for our audience, can you just a little like intro into like what you do?
Yes, absolutely. So my name's Emma. I am the co-founder of Stellar Eats, which is a line of healthy baking mixes made with real food ingredients, and we sell them at just over 2,000 stores now across the US and Canada. And then, I also do food and recipe content for Kula's Kitchen, which is my little sort of, I don't really call it a blog anymore because it's not really a blog, but social, Instagram, TikTok. I have a Substack newsletter as well. Wow. And that's basically what I do.
Busy lady.
I saw the butter party you did for your birthday.
Oh
that
my
was
God.
Beautiful.
It was the best. Okay, I had wanted to do a dinner party for a while, especially because I just moved to, I moved to LA last year.
Okay.
And so everything was kind of new last year, and I was really building up my friend group and just kind of adjusting to the new city. And then now that it's been a year, I was like, okay, I really want to do a dinner party. I feel like that's such fun.
You're like, you're ready for it.
Yeah, and it's just like, I wanted to do it for my friends, and I also was like, that's such cute content.
Yeah.
So I threw a little...
Always do it for the content.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
No, but it was so fun. I did it for my birthday, and I made it butter themed because I was like, why not? That's such a fun theme.
Yeah.
I love butter.
Yeah, it was great. I want to do many more. Who doesn't love butter?
Seriously.
So that was the first of hopefully many dinner parties.
Amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
And so I think I saw somewhere on your social media that Stellar Eats, your baking brand, has gotten like, it's like a 7-figure business now or something like that.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
It's fabulous.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a bit? So for our audience, a lot of 20-somethings are curious. I'm assuming that you started this in your 20s.
Yes.
Yeah. So our audience is really curious about starting a business. They don't really know where to start. Like, what would you tell them if they're like, I'm fresh out of college or university, I don't really know what to do, but I know I want to start a business?
I honestly think that the hardest part is just starting. I feel like a lot of people sort of overthink it and think, okay, if there's something that I want to do, you can be obviously very methodical about it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but I also think that if you're starting a business and you've never done that before, you're not going to ever go into it knowing everything that you need to know.
True. Yeah.
Like I have 2 co-founders, Stella and Michelle. And actually, Michelle had a business previously, but it wasn't a food business. But she had experience with sort of the distribution networks that we work with and things like that. So she had a little bit of experience. Stella and I had 0 experience running a business. And as with most industries, the food industry is something where you don't really know until you're in it. Like you can't really learn it before you start.
Yeah.
So I think if you have an idea and you have something you want to pursue, obviously have a little bit of a plan in place, but also just be really open to learning as you go, because you will not know until you really start doing it.
Yeah.
So
and what made you want to go into the food business and start Stellar Eats?
So it's funny because it actually wasn't really such a conscious plan.
Yeah.
I actually ended up quitting my job when I was in how old was I when we started Stellar Eats? I was probably like 26. Yeah, I think I was 26. So I was working
You
at
look
a
26
corporate.
now.
Yeah. I was like,
How old are you now?
I was calculating back from how old I am now.
That's very suspicious. How old are you now?
Hold on. I'm 32.
What?
Yeah.
You look so
like a
young.
baby.
32
Oh,
is the
thank
new
you.
25.
It is.
Like,
It actually
is.
is. It actually
It
is. We can
is.
talk about that later.
Yeah, we
will. Yeah. So I think I was 26 and so was Stella, and I was working at a corporate job.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was doing like sales and marketing stuff for this company, and it was fine, but it wasn't really bringing me any joy
Yeah.
or fulfillment. I was really interested in cooking. I think the thing that I would say to kind of like ask yourself if you're looking to make a change like that is, what's the thing that I would be doing if money were no object, right? Like
Yes.
if it didn't matter how much money I was making, what would I want to be doing?
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
And so I was kind of thinking about that, and I was like, okay, I always am cooking in my spare time, and baking
Yeah.
is just
Yeah.
like so fun, brings me joy, love doing it for other people. So I was like, okay, I'm going to quit my job and just see if I can find something in the food industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually ended up working for another CPG sort of startup. I just worked in their production
Wow.
kitchen. So I got a tiny bit of experience working in the food industry. And then Stella was a friend of mine from high school and university. And she was running a meal delivery service because she's a holistic nutritionist, and her clients were asking her to make meals for them. So she started just making these healthy meals and delivering them around Toronto. And I was kind of like doing that other thing in the production kitchen, but I wanted something else.
Yeah.
And she had posted a job posting on Indeed. And I was like, all right, I'm going to quit my job and come help you with this. So
Wow.
I ended up doing both of those things at the same time. I was working for the food startup
Yeah.
and working with Stella. So I kind of just fell into it in that
Yeah.
way. And then probably 8 months later, Michelle and Stella and I, who were already, the three of us were working together on the meal delivery
Yeah.
business. And we kind of just had this idea to
my
pivot it
God.
because the meal delivery was really hard to scale. It was really hard to
Yeah.
run, working with fresh food and stuff. And
It's giving the bear. That's what I think of.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like working in production kitchens is not for
Yeah.
everyone. And beyond that, it was also sort of like we wanted to give people more of the power back rather than just kind of like dropping meals at their door. We were
Yeah.
like, what could we do that could help people to actually get in the kitchen and
Yeah.
do something themselves?
Yeah.
And we just saw sort of a gap in the market for the baking mixes, and we decided to just pivot the business into that. So it wasn't
Love it.
something that I was consciously trying to do when I originally
Yeah.
quit my job, but it sort
Exactly.
of just happened the way
Because
that
you
it was
were
meant
chasing
to.
what you were interested in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
chasing. I was like, something will happen. I wasn't too
Yeah.
concerned. I was like,
Yeah.
I just want to kind of break into this industry and see what happens. And then
Yeah.
Yeah.
we ended up pivoting the business, and it started to kind of take off. And then we were like,
Yeah.
okay, this is what we're doing now.
I feel like that's a great story because I was talking to a friend the other day, and she is very interested in starting her own business, but she's like, I don't know. Like, she was thinking food industry. She doesn't know what industry she wants to start in. But I was saying, like, I feel like if you just, follow what you're interested in and you
Yeah.
start, then something will probably come to you. And I feel like your
Yes.
story
Yeah.
kind of shows that. Like, you were following your passion. You were in the food industry. And then, one
And
day
you worked a bit in the food industry
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
And then kind of built some.
Exactly. And I think often it won't even end up being what you originally
Exactly.
started, but
Yeah.
at least you can kind of start somewhere, and then it'll
Yeah.
probably evolve into something else,
Yeah.
Like a lot of people try a few different things before they land on
Yeah.
Yeah.
a business that they want to pursue or something
Yeah.
like that.
And what was that like starting the business? Because I've seen on your social media how like when you first started, it was like that you had like no money.
Oh,
basically.
no.
Yeah, like
We
what
had
does
no
that
money.
look like?
Yeah,
Do you
like,
need
what's
to
that like? Because I feel like a
like
lot of
investment? People think they need like a ton of money to invest
Yeah.
or
in
they're
a company.
scared of investing a lot of money and having no like. What was
Yeah.
that like?
Yeah, it's scary because you don't want to pour so much money into something that has no traction yet.
Yeah.
So essentially, we had a little bit of money between the three of us from the prior business, from the meal
Yeah.
delivery
Yeah.
business. And we were like, we're just going to put all of this into the new business, which was not a lot of money. I think it was $6,000 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Literally
So we
us
just,
right now.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Mike's
All patting each
camera.
other.
Yeah, just pour it in.
Yeah.
See what happens. So we used that, I think, to just buy our initial round of packaging and ingredients. And then we first started out, we were mixing and bagging everything ourselves. So we didn't
Wow.
have a manufacturing facility.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
just like renting a commercial kitchen. So we kind of saved costs that way. And we
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
like, let's just produce a few hundred mixes ourselves. We'll spend the money on the packaging and the ingredients, and then we'll start taking them to retailers and just kind of see what happens from there. And then if we start to get a little bit of traction, we'll figure out the next step. And then the next step did end up being we got a small investment from our fourth partner. Actually, she's now our fourth partner, but she was our first investor and like the first person to join our team.
Wow.
And she helped us out by giving us a bit of money to do our first production run at a co-manufacturing facility, which is like something that we wanted to do right away. We didn't want to have our own production kitchen. We were like, we want to outsource this as soon as we can.
How did you meet that woman, the fourth partner?
So Stella had actually worked with her previously at another company very briefly.
Yeah.
And it was during the pandemic, and I think Stella worked at that company for like a month and then got laid off. And then Amy, our fourth partner, reached out to Stella like after that and was like, hey, I really liked working with you. And I think like a bunch of people got laid off from that company. And she was like, I'm just curious what you're doing now because I would love to work with you again. And then Stella was like, oh, well, actually, I'm kind of starting this thing. And then we met with her and we just clicked with her and she loved us and we've been working with her ever since.
That's so
cool.
so
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. We got really lucky.
Yeah. Lucky, but also like, I'm
It's
sure
your prior experiences that helped. You
Totally.
know?
Yeah. She obviously believed in us and and the product. And so that was amazing. And it kind of gave us a little bit of a boost that we needed to kind of get to the next level because when you're producing everything yourself, you can only have so much.
That's all manual.
Yeah, exactly. And we kind of were stuck at like, we can't even really get more customers now because we don't have the capacity to produce enough for them. Because we were producing, I don't even remember, probably like not even 500 mixes a week probably.
That's
because
a lot
everything was by
still.
hand. Yeah, maybe a couple hundred a week.
How many hours was that a week?
Oh my goodness.
We would go to the kitchen I think twice a week and spend like 6 to 8 hours there.
Wow.
Yeah. So
You guys put in the work.
we put in the work, and then in between the kitchen, it was so
my
funny
goodness.
because originally we had stickered pouches, not printed, because we didn't have the money to do printed bags. But we didn't want to waste kitchen time that we were paying for stickering the bags. So Stella and I would go home and we would have these huge rolls of stickers and we would spend like a few days during the week stickering all the bags and then we would bring them to the kitchen and fill them so we weren't like using kitchen time. Oh my God, I just remember so clearly like spending so many hours stickering bags. I just like in front of the TV.
Just so you know, I've done gift baskets before and it was like 20 and it took me freaking forever.
Oh,
so
no,
like my heart goes out to you.
Yeah.
Like, that's
it was
insane.
a grind at the beginning. I think we did that for a year probably.
Wow.
Maybe a little less than a year before we got our production
And so
facility.
did you take it, like, was it like funding and then you take it to like grocery stores? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, like who's buying?
Yeah, so we would just go around to local stores. We started more with smaller chains. Like obviously you don't go to Loblaws right away because you need a little more traction. So we went to Fiesta Farms. Do you guys know Fiesta Farms?
No.
I've never heard of Fiesta. Is it Toronto?
Is that here?
Yeah, it's like Bloor and Christie kind of area.
Oh.
Or sorry, DuPont and Christie. They're it's a great store and they were our first retailer and then we went to Summerhill Market, so they were one of our first retailers as well. So stores like that, sort of like natural chains. And then once we signed on with our manufacturing facility, we went from having a capacity of like not even 1,000 mixes a week to suddenly sitting on 10,000 mixes.
Wow.
So that kind of gave us the motivation to go out and be like, okay, we need to really sell this now. But yeah, it was just kind of us going around bringing samples, talking to buyers at stores. And it probably wasn't until a few months later that we got a distributor or, you know, some sort of like one of those things
Big
to kind of help us
Yeah.
get into the bigger chains because you kind of need a distributor to get into the bigger chains. They don't really work directly with brands. So
Interesting.
yeah, that was kind of the next step.
How long did it take for the business to become profitable?
Oh, well, till this year.
Wow.
Yeah. And still we're sort of like reaching our break even point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say most businesses in the first like 5 years, you're not profitable. You're just kind of, because you know, whatever you make, you just pour back into the business. So
I want our audience to hear that because I just don't. Because I feel like, you know, being like entrepreneurs, it's like you kind of have to expect not to make money right away.
Yeah.
Because you're
100%.
like, I feel like 90% of the time entrepreneurs are chasing a passion and a dream, and it's like you're willing not to make profit for the first while
Yeah.
because you know that you're chasing something you want to do.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's an expected answer, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
And if you're
Yeah.
okay with me asking,
Yeah.
like, how do you deal with that financially? Like in your 20s, like, do you have another job? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, great question. So just to clarify, like we don't have a lot of profit, but as our revenue has increased, so has our expenses. So
Yes.
we have more employees now and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you know, when we started making a bit of money, we weren't just like, oh, sweet, we're going to
Yeah.
pop
Yeah,
more
we're
money.
making money.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like you put it obviously back into the business. So we have a lot more expenses now than we did when we
Yes.
started out. We have a team of 7 people now.
Yeah.
So, but when we first started, Stella and I both had other jobs.
Yeah.
Just sort of on the side. And we probably did that for a year or maybe a year and a half while we were building Stellar Eats before we had the money to pay ourselves. So
Okay.
we were able to start giving ourselves a salary, which
Okay.
is great because otherwise, you know,
Yeah, what
it's
are you
not
gonna-
sustainable.
Yeah.
Especially when you kind of need it to be your full-time job. Like
Yeah.
when we were first starting, it was okay to do it sort of part-time.
Yeah.
But as
But
it grows,
it gets to a place where you're like, okay, I need to dedicate all my time to this. And I need
Exactly.
to be realistic about it. So we were lucky that we got to that place pretty quickly within
Yeah.
like a year. And then probably the year after that is when we started hiring other team members. And yeah, so.
Did you ever have a rock bottom moment in Stellar Eats, like starting up?
or even
like,
just in your 20s.
yeah, or just like a moment where you're just like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to do.
Honestly, with Stellar Eats, I think we've had a lot of which I think is important for people to know is just the nature of entrepreneurship. Like we always say, it's such a roller coaster. Like the good moments are so good and fulfilling, and it makes you be like, oh my God, this is amazing, and like everything's worth it. But then you also have a lot of times where something goes wrong, or you know, a lot of this stuff is not out of your control, but there's often a lot of decisions being made by people outside of your team. You know, like, for example, if you want to get into a retailer and you've been like prepping for it and pitching to them, sometimes they're just like, no, sorry, we don't have space, you know, and stuff like that can be tough. And just different issues with production and stuff like that. Like as you're growing, a lot of things can go wrong. We've had, you know, production issues where like we've discovered that a product that's in circulation is not baking the way that it should. And it's like this whole thing. So there's a lot of moments like that where you feel really defeated.
You're like, no.
Yeah. But it kind of evens out with the good moments. So yeah, I would say there's been probably a lot of those, especially when, you know, you're an entrepreneur and you're doing something that you're passionate about. You're so personally tied to it that it's like a lot of things feel like a personal failure.
It's
When it's
so
not,
true.
right?
I
It's like
totally get that. Yeah.
you take everything way more personally. It's not like you're just working for some random person. You're like, I don't really care what happens.
Yeah.
It's like
It's so
the things that
personal.
go wrong feel so
my
bad
God,
because
I
you're so
know.
personally tied to
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just in my 20s, like in general, I'm trying to think. I don't know about a rock bottom, but I actually think like towards the later end of my 20s is when I started to feel a bit like confused about where I wanted to go next in my life.
Yeah.
Because I think, you know, in your earlier 20s, you're just kind of, things are happening and you're like having fun and going through the motions, and like, especially because we started Stellar Eats sort of in your mid-20s.
Yeah.
That was, it started and then it was just happening. So it was very like go, go, go. And then towards the end of my 20s, I was like, this is great. I've built this business. I had this other thing. Like, what do I want to do next? And that is what sort of led me to my decision of moving to LA. So that was more, it wasn't a rock bottom, but it was more a period of transition where I was like, okay, I feel like I need to make the next move here.
Yes.
And then I moved to LA, I guess, when I was 30. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Wow.
And so was LA, did you move to LA because you just wanted to go? Like, is that the reason why?
partly that and partly for the business as well. So it worked out well for me because it's somewhere that I had always wanted to live.
Yeah.
I had visited a number of times and I was like, I could really see myself here, and I kind of want to just experience living somewhere else. And for the business, it was great because we were growing a lot in the US and specifically in California.
Yeah.
So we kind of had talked as a team, like maybe it's time for someone to go to the US, and it was perfect because I was the one who wanted to go. I was like, me, perfect. Yeah, so it worked out really well because I was able to get a visa through the company and make that move. So it was like a personal and a work decision, which worked out great.
And are the tariffs affecting you guys at all? Like, since you have a visa, I don't know how that all works.
So not currently. We did have to kind of look into the tariff thing. Because originally it was going to be like a 25% tariff on anything imported into the US. And for us, we do produce everything in Canada and then we ship our US products to the US. But it ended up, it's apparently not applying to food. So
okay, good.
I think we're okay for now.
I want to ask too, like during those rock bottom moments of Stellar Eats, what got you through those?
Honestly, having co-founders really helps. Like I always think about, we know other business owners who they're solo founders and they have teams, of course. But I think for me, working with one of my best friends and then Michelle and Stella are cousins.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I get
your
to.
Cousins.
They're not my cousins. They're cousins with each other.
Oh, they're cousins.
Yes.
I thought you said they're cousins, like your cousins.
No, so they are cousins, and then I knew Stella obviously from high school, and then obviously I met Michelle when we started doing the business. So working with people that we're really close. Yeah. Obviously because we run a business together, but also outside of the business as well.
Yes.
And I think it helps so much just to have people that you trust and like a sounding board.
For sure.
So we always help each other get through it. We always say like we can't have all three of us being really down at the same time. Like we kind of like take turns. It's like someone will be really down about something and then one or two of us have to be like, no, we're like so positive. And we kind of switch up. We all kind of have our moments. So
I totally get that.
For context,
I was just gonna say that.
You guys have a 3 as well.
Yeah. And it's like we do everything together. We're also like getting into screenwriting together.
Oh my
so
God,
like
amazing.
Our,
5 years of
our
that?
version of Stellar Eats, like our baby is this pilot
we
wrote a book
TV
when we were
show,
younger.
Yeah.
And then we made it
Oh my
in,
God,
like,
that's so
when
cool.
we were like in like our teens. And then our dream was always to make it into like a movie or a TV show.
Yeah.
So we're
Not
still
easy.
working on it. Not easy.
Not easy. I'm
Not
sure
We're
you guys
still
have
working
the
on
same.
it. Like,
But we're the same. It's like
but we joke like it's like when we get feedback on that pilot script, it's personal.
It's
And
personal.
it's, like, it's so personal.
Like, they're
and then
like,
even the three of us, like back to the co-founder thing, like
keeping up morale.
sometimes we're
Yes.
all feeling a bit down, and we're like, guys, like,
But
one
someone
of us needs
always
to, like,
has to
One
step
person
up.
needs to step up. Yeah. Totally.
And like it's like we'll get feedback and they'll be like, well, we don't like this character. Like you need to get rid of this character. Like it feels like they've like personally attacked me.
100%.
Like that's my friend. Why are you doing that?
100%.
Like, no, thank you.
It's so hard not
It
to
feels
take things
so
personally.
personal.
Yeah,
but it's good.
it really does.
It's good to have a group to
Oh my
like.
gosh.
Yeah, no,
cheer
I
each
agree
other
with that
back on.
100%.
It helps so much. And even if you are a solo founder, like just having at least people around you that
A
you
support
can talk to,
system.
even if they're not part of your business,
Exactly.
like having a really good support system because you need people to talk to, you need people to share ideas with and share your struggles and your wins with. So
No, I love
that helps a lot.
What would your like networking tips be for someone? Because it seems like you're good at like creating a community around yourself. Like even you mentioned going to LA and like finding your friends there, finding your people there. Like what advice would you give?
Yeah, I think just being willing to put yourself out there. I think for me, that was actually surprisingly a lot easier when I moved to LA because I had lived in Toronto my whole life. And I think when you live in the place that you're from and you kind of have all your own friends, at least for me, I wasn't really that open to like putting myself out there.
No.
And so moving to a new city really helped me with that because I was like, okay, I need to meet people. I'm kind of like forced into this.
Yeah.
And so I would just go to events and stuff alone. Like,
Yeah.
and I've met some of my best friends in LA from just going to random events alone and meeting people. So I think finding events or things that are happening that are kind of within your industry, like I would go to a lot of, food industry events or just kind of finding like-minded people. There's so much stuff on social media now that you can find, like
So
at least in LA, I don't know if they have this here, but there's a lot of like community walks and it's other girls that
They
are
do
your
have that.
age and you meet a lot of other entrepreneurs and like people who are doing cool things. So I think just finding like-minded communities and being willing to do that and put yourself out there, even if you have to go alone. I've also been to like run clubs alone.
I was gonna say like I've seen there's run
Exercise
clubs
classes,
actually like downtown Toronto, and I'm like,
Honestly,
I'm still
it's great.
building
I
up
wanna
the
go
courage
one.
because it's at
Go
like
to
6
one.
in the morning.
Oh, that's too early.
I'm like building
I
up
was
the
like,
courage. I'm like, it looks so cute because it's along the water.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, it looks so cute.
Yeah.
I am gonna go this summer.
I think it might be on the West End.
It's so worth
Yeah.
it. It's
Yeah.
like, but you have to be willing to do it. Like, you're
Yes,
not going to
you
meet
do.
people, especially for me. Like, I work from
Yeah.
home and I do a lot of my work solo. So it's like,
Yes.
I have to force myself and be willing
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
to put myself out there. Otherwise, I
Yeah.
could just be at home alone all
Oh
the
my
time.
God.
if I
Oh,
wanted to,
me too.
you know?
Yeah.
I literally I
With a good
drag
book,
her
like, I'm
out
done.
of the
Yes.
house. I'm like, girl, we gotta get out.
You got to get out.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
Yeah, I spent the entire
just
day
have
reading
to.
yesterday. Like,
Yeah.
all day.
Which actually sounds nice.
It is nice.
What's our
That's
Sunday?
my
Sundays
Sunday
are reading
thing, is I'm
days.
like, that's my
Sunday-
reading day.
Totally.
I feel like it like resets my nervous system. It's like
Yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah.
I feel like reading's really good for you.
Oh my gosh.
You can't
so
do
good
it
for
every
you.
day.
And I think
No,
like,
but I can't do it all
there
day,
are
every
obviously
day.
certain days where you're like, I
Yeah.
just want to chill. But I
Yeah.
think you can't expect to network and meet people if you don't go out
Exactly.
and do
Go
it.
out.
And I think
Yeah.
a lot of people just aren't willing to do that.
Yeah, and I
So-
feel like
Yeah.
I always say this too. Like, I don't know if it's just our generation, but it's like sometimes it's like the thought of going out, you're kind of like,
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
then 9 times out of 10, when you push yourself to go out, you end up having fun.
Yeah.
100%.
Always.
That happens
Like-
to me every time. Like
Yeah.
beforehand,
Yeah.
I'm like, I kind of wish I didn't sign up for this. And then I go and I meet cool people and I leave being like, that was so fun.
Yeah,
I
you're
really
like,
want
why was
myself to
I
do that.
dreading
Why
that
was I
line?
dreading that?
I'm
Yeah.
unfortunately one of those people too where like
Yeah.
I throw like a toddler riot
Yes. Yeah.
beforehand.
Yeah.
And like
That's because
the
you have me to
bigger-
throw the toddler riot too.
But like
Yeah.
the bigger of a rager that I throw before, the more fun the event is. I feel like it's like the universe or God just being like, well,
Yes.
that's what you get for being so resistant. Like if I just like went with it, you know?
100%.
And I always end up having a great time.
You always end up having a great time because
Yeah.
it's obviously easier to
Yeah.
just stay home and chill.
Exactly.
yeah,
But
That's not how you're gonna meet anyone or do
exactly.
anything.
yeah.
Exactly.
Is there a belief you had in your 20s that you feel like turned out to be completely wrong? Random pivot.
Ooh. Okay.
Came out of nowhere.
I mean, I think it's well known now that most people don't have everything figured out in their
Yes.
20s. So definitely not expecting that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
also not even expecting to have everything figured out in my 30s.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Like I
love that.
think when you're in
Yeah.
your 20s, are you guys all in your 20s?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
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 So I think when you're in your 20s, you kind of have this idea of like, okay, once I reach a certain age, I'll have everything figured out,
So
or
true.
I should have X, Y, and Z figured
Yeah.
out
The
by the time I'm
expectations
30.
are killers.
Exactly.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
And I think the reality is like even when you reach your 30s, sometimes you can
Yeah.
still be not 100%
Yeah.
sure
Yeah.
Yeah.
what you're doing, or just sort of being open to like where life takes you and
Yeah.
maybe not having every single thing that you thought you would have figured out.
Yeah. Sorry,
And so yeah, just knowing that like you always have time,
Yeah.
yeah.
and even for maybe big changes that you want to make,
Mm-hmm.
starting a business, moving to a new city,
Yeah.
anything like that, like it's never too late to do
Yeah.
those things.
I love that
Yeah.
you say like there's like you're not running out of time. I don't know what it is
Never.
with 20s and feeling like we're
We
running
all
out of
feel
time.
like we're
we
running
all
out
feel
of
like running
time.
out of time constantly.
No.
And like me and all my friends were like always like talking each other off the ledge. I'm like, we're fine. We need to calm down.
I was just talking to my friend the other day.
100%.
Like she just graduated. She's 22, and
Yeah.
she's like, I just feel like I'm running out of time. Like I don't have a job. I'm like, just take it easy.
22, like you
I know.
are
I
literally
know.
a baby. Like you
Yeah.
have
I
so
know.
much time. Like I am in my early 30s now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's so fun and chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's just you can really just do whatever you want at
Yeah.
any time. There's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
expectation. There's no timeline for anything. It's
Yeah.
like you got to just do
Yeah.
what you want, and things will happen.
Yeah,
you know,
I
as
feel
they're
like people
supposed to.
need to let go of the timelines. That's one thing that like
Yes.
actually doing this podcast has been helping me with.
Yeah.
That, like,
Yeah.
let go of the timelines you create in your head
100%.
and you will feel a lot more at peace and a lot
Yes.
happier.
Yes,
And it's just like, you know, like just take things day by day.
exactly.
I take it back to my like rigid mindset of like going out even for a
Yeah.
night. Like I was saying, I've kind of got like that. Like I have these big dreams, right? I think
Yeah.
a lot of people do. But if I get rigid with like what I'm doing right now, and I'm like, the big dreams aren't going to happen right now. But I also feel like just being rigid with opportunities has always
Yeah.
steered me in the wrong direction. Like I was very rigid. I only wanted to do my dream thing. And recently we took like a serving job.
Yeah.
And I used to be like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm better than that. I'm not doing that. I just let myself do it. I had fun. I met
Yes.
nice people. we
You got a
learned
job
lot.
out of it?
I got a job,
Like another
yeah,
job?
another job that came out of it. Like if you just let yourself do things and not keep yourself in that rigid mindset, you end up doing things you never
Or
thought you would do.
I think it's that you
Absolutely.
pre-planned your life before
yeah,
you were
I did.
doing it.
I was just
And,
like, I had such like a like this is exactly what I'm doing, and I
and that's
wouldn't
what's
stray
gonna
away
happen.
from it.
And then
And then just letting myself go a little bit and
Yeah.
like doing things I never thought I would do. Like it's giving me more opportunities than I could have planned. You know,
Exactly. You can't plan everything. And I absolutely agree with that. Actually, when Stella and I started the company, we also were working as servers. And that was something that we had never done before. And like you, I never thought I would do.
No.
And I'm like, this is just the best way to make money. And
exactly, it's
during
the
hours that I
easiest
don't
way.
need to work
Yes.
on Stellar Eats.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's
It's
sometimes
actually
you just need to
kind of
take the
good for
opportunities.
entrepreneurs.
It is.
It
It's
is.
great.
Because
Yeah.
it's like also with us, I mean, I don't know if this works at every restaurant, but our hours were quite flexible. Like I could say like, you know, if you give a week or two's notice, like I could be like, oh, like this day from this time to this time, I'm free then. And then you
Exactly.
get booked, you work then, and then you have the rest of your time to
work on your own
work
projects.
on your own projects
Yeah.
and whatever.
Yeah.
It gives you that flexibility. And it's also just a new experience.
Yeah.
It's like
It's humbling
any
too.
it is. It's like, okay, maybe this isn't something I necessarily want to do forever, but you
Yeah.
still learn so much
It's
and you get
so
to experience
true.
something new
Yeah.
outside
Yeah.
of what you maybe would have
It's so
thought
true.
you were going to do.
Exactly.
And
So-
like also for us, I found like, you know, with for us anyway, you're kind of tied to the computer, you know, when
Yes.
you're working. So
Yeah.
it's like for me serving, it was like you're kind
You're
of
on your
up, you're
feet.
walking around. I
Yeah.
got like 10,000 steps.
Yeah, you get to
sometimes.
do something different.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a, it's
And
a
like
totally
I said,
different
like the
vibe.
opportunities that came from that ended up being better than the serving job, but I never would have had them if I didn't just let myself do
yeah,
it.
you meet
Yeah.
new people
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, no, I'm totally on board for that. I love that for you.
Yeah, I love that for you too.
Love it.
We ask all our guests this question.
Okay.
If you were to describe your 20s in 3 words, what would they be and why?
Ooh. Okay. Fun,
Good.
adventure,
Oh, nice.
chaos,
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
chaos is a good one.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
I feel like I have no regrets about how I spent my 20s. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are like, I wish that I had more fun and didn't stress.
Yeah.
Like, I had so much fun in my
Yeah.
20s. I
Good.
had
Good
so
to
many
hear.
great life experiences. I traveled a lot
Yeah.
Good.
with friends, and like, I feel like I did a lot of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But it was also equally as chaotic because you're just trying to figure out what you want to do, starting
Yeah.
a business,
Yeah.
actually starting 2 businesses, kind of like building my other business as well, Kula's Kitchen. You know, you're like dating, making new friends,
Oh,
figuring
yeah.
out where you want to live, like moving out sometimes on your
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
for the first time. So yeah, a lot happening, but
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah.
A lot was going on.
What
lot
did
was
your
happening.
early 20s look like? Like, did you go to school and then what did you do after that?
Yeah, so I went to McGill for university, and I graduated. I guess I would have been 21 or 22 when I graduated. I moved back to Toronto, and I spent maybe like 6 months living at home, and then I moved out and got my own apartment because that was like
Wow.
something I really wanted to do right away. Yeah. And I'm so glad I did that because
Yeah.
it was really fun. It gave me this whole new experience because even in
Yeah.
university, like I lived with my friends. I had never
Yeah.
lived on my own before.
Yeah.
So I think it gave me a really good sense of independence.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that for several years.
Did you have a job in university? Like, how did you afford that?
Yes, I did actually.
Okay,
I got
yeah.
a job in marketing while I was still in school.
Oh,
So then when I
wow.
graduated,
Nice.
I still had that job and I was able to just work
Nice.
from home.
Nice.
So I did that for a couple of years. Then I got that other sales and marketing job that I ended up quitting when I started Stellar
Yeah.
Eats.
Yeah.
So I worked in sort of like corporate jobs for, yeah, I guess probably 2 or 3 years after
Yeah.
university.
Wow.
Lived on my own. Yeah, started the business.
Do you feel
and-
like what you studied, did that help with Stellar Eats at all, or any of the companies you worked for?
I'm sure it did in certain ways.
Yeah.
I did go to business school.
Okay.
I think obviously again like a lot of it you kind of just learn when you
Yeah.
start. Like I
Yeah.
don't remember specific things that I learned in school, but
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah.
there were certain things.
Yeah.
Definitely gave me like a base of knowledge.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I think for sure the 2 jobs that I had as well. I was doing just like digital marketing stuff. So that gave me a little bit of experience as well that I could apply.
Yeah.
But again, the food industry is like its whole own beast.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a lot of just learning on the job. But I definitely had some marketing and sales and business experience.
Yeah.
What's your biggest advice to someone who wants to go into the food industry?
Ooh, okay.
Or your best advice?
Okay. First of all, do an accurate calculation of your margin. I know that's like so boring, but the margins in food are quite slim.
Yes.
And
We've heard this.
if you set your price to something when you start out, it's sort of hard to you can raise your price, of course, but I think once you've kind of like put it out there what your price is, it's hard to stray from that unless you lower it, which is obviously great.
Yeah.
So I think just going into it, having a bit of knowledge of like, okay, this is how much it costs to produce it, packaging, ingredients, everything. And then you have to factor in the idea that you might have a distributor or like another party that is going to take a cut of the price as well.
Yeah.
That's like a very practical thing that I think
Yeah,
you should
no, I
know,
think
because
it's
you
good.
can't just be like, this should be $10. It's like, okay, well, why?
Yeah.
And make sure that you still have like a healthy margin left over. Otherwise, you're gonna you're gonna fail quickly.
Yeah.
So that's just like boring advice.
It's good advice, though.
Practical. Boring but practical advice. What else would I say? I would say my other piece of advice would be talk to as many people as you know who work in that same industry.
Okay.
Like for us, we were very lucky that we had a lot of great, generous people around us that we kind of knew or met once we got into the food industry. And there were so many people that gave us their time and advice when we were first starting out. That helped a lot, especially when, like for us, we launched in the US in 2021. So we were only 1 year into business when we launched in the US, which is crazy. But I remember we had a call with someone from another CPG company, and he gave us really good advice about just picking regional focuses and not trying to like do everything at once, because especially in the US, it's such a huge place and there's so many different regions. So things like that, like there are people who might be a couple years ahead of you who can give you really good advice based on their own experience. And now that I'm 5 years in, I'm like, I would also happily give advice to anyone. So I think just knowing people who you can reach out to, almost everybody will be like happy to give you, you know,
I was
30 minutes of their time.
I was actually going to ask you, what advice would you give to someone, or like a guideline of reaching out to someone like you if they want to get advice? Because I think I actually saw Sydney post about this recently, and she was like, I think some people almost take it too casual and will just like send a 1-sentence DM and be like, hey, like, do you have advice for me? When it's like, I feel like there's probably a better way to go about it.
Yeah, and should they go like, what social media should they use, or do they use social media?
Or
Like,
email, or you know, that
Totally.
kind of thing.
That's a good question. I think for me, I would probably do email.
I
it's
think
just
so
a bit
too.
more, it's like easier to keep track of. Especially when you have like so many things going on. It's, And then I would say, explaining what you're doing. If you have a product, like saying what the product is. And you don't need to necessarily say this in the intro email, but I would say if you are getting on a call with someone and you want advice, like definitely come with specific questions. It's not really helpful to just come and be like, what's your advice? You know, it's like, okay, what are the issues, what are the problems that you're having, or like the struggles that you're facing, that you're coming up against, and how could I help you with those things? I think for the person who needs the advice as well, like it'll be so much more
so much more value out
so
of
much
the
more
call.
valuable for you if you come with specific struggles or you know, things that you want to know more about.
I think
that's the best way to do it.
Thankfully as well, like we've had great experience asking people for advice as well.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah,
been
most
very
people
kind.
are very
Good.
open to it.
But I also think like doing your research on that person so that you know what to ask them.
100%. Know about their business and
Yeah.
what they do
Yeah.
and what experience or advice they can bring to you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not just expecting them to like know everything about
Exactly.
the problems that you're having.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Sorry, Maddie, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, kind of like in line with this, but what would you say, like, how did you transform or change the most in your 20s? Like, you know, what, you know, how have you changed, I guess, through that decade?
Yeah.
That is a great question. I think I've definitely gained a lot more confidence. Obviously in career and just in life, I think, when you're first starting out, especially if you're an entrepreneur, everything feels so new and you don't really feel like you know how to do anything. And we've actually had this conversation a lot between me and my co-founders is like, we started out so new in the industry that we were going to a lot of other people for advice and learning everything. Everything was brand new. Now that we're a few years into it, we're like, we have to not sell ourselves short. Like we do know what we're doing now. And I think you're so used to not knowing what you're doing that you kind of like second guess whether you
even know what you're doing.
Even know what you're doing. Or it's like,
so true.
am I the best person to do this or should I hire someone? Like knowing what your strengths are and being confident in what you are able to do instead of just always assuming like, oh, someone else could do this better than me. It's like, no, you actually know what you're doing. You've built this business. You have certain strengths that have gotten you to where you are. So I think that's been really good. And also just gaining confidence in the sense of like not caring so much what other people think. You just
that's a big one.
are doing your own thing. You're pursuing what you want to pursue and you have to just be comfortable with that and confident in that and not pay so much attention to what other people are doing or thinking that you need to do what other people do. I think that's been really helpful for me too. It's just like not caring so much about that.
I feel like, sorry, I want to say quickly, I feel like it's funny that you say that it's like you kind of had to learn to like, be like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
But I feel like
so parallel to our journey.
Yeah, but I think because like as entrepreneurs, like I feel like to be successful, you have to kind of bury your ego and like accept that you're not
gonna get it right the first time.
And like,
oh my
so many
gosh,
failures and like
we went through
and
that.
So I just feel like it's like funny that you say that it's like to get to a point where you're like, oh, I actually do know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I am.
I remember we
just
got
find that
feedback
funny.
once. We had the mentor at UCLA in screenwriting who like we literally found through like a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. Like just so much networking.
Amazing.
But we finally and we went through so much failure with the drafts of our script.
Yeah, like people would be like, oh, this doesn't read.
And the
well,
worst
whatever.
too is like you'd send it to someone and they'd just be like, it's a pass. And I'm like, but why?
But why?
Like, tell me why.
Yes, we've had that experience a lot.
I'm sure you have.
And a couple years in, we finally created a script that was getting good feedback, and we gave it to this professor, and he was like, well, what do you want me to tell you, that it's bad? He's like, it's good.
It's fine.
And that was the moment, like, something that you talk about, we're like,
we did it.
Okay, like
in a way,
did something right. Like,
we
like, I don't know.
You're like shocked that you finally did something right.
Yeah, totally.
Just, like, to adjust to that, it's hard.
It is hard to adjust to. Yeah, no, it's so true, and I like that you brought up the thing about the ego too, because we always say like you do have to not have an ego because it's tough. Like running a business is tough, and you can't be the person who just like thinks that you know how to do everything perfectly. So we definitely do not have a lot of ego on our team. But it's a fine balance of that, but then also knowing your strengths and the things that you are capable of,
and being confident, like you were saying.
Being confident in the things that you're good at, but also being able to be like, okay, this area is not my strength. I'm gonna like hire for this or have someone else do this. So, but I think it takes time to get to that point and learn. Like we were all kind of doing everything when we first started out before we realized like, okay, this is your strength. This is your strength. So
and do you think like confidence comes through the experiences you had? Because you can't just arrive feeling confident.
No, definitely through the experiences. I think the more you do things, you kind of discover what you're good at and what you can contribute, and I think that gives you a lot of confidence as you go.
Is there a book or podcast or something that you watched or listened to, or maybe even advice that was given to you that helped you through your 20s that you can remember, that you would maybe recommend to someone else?
I still listen to a lot of podcasts. I think one that I listened to a lot was How I Built This. Have you guys heard that?
No. I actually haven't.
It's good. I started listening to it because I was just interested, but then once I was building my own business, it was really helpful to hear about other entrepreneurs. It's basically just about people who have built companies.
I love that.
Wow. A lot of them are in the food industry as well.
Okay.
So that was really helpful for me. And it's just so nice to hear like people that are so successful now. I remember one of them was, do you guys know Spanx?
Yeah.
So obviously like famous story of Sarah Blakely who started Spanx. And it's just so nice to hear like someone who's so successful now that they started in the same way that you started.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like grinding, like going around to retailers being like, do you want my product? You know,
Yeah.
that helped me so much because I was like, okay, everyone starts from somewhere. And also a book that I read was Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, which is the guy who started Nike.
Oh my God.
And I remember reading that book, and like he was talking about in the first few years of Nike, like having so many cash flow issues because they had to like pay so much money to produce these shoes, and then they weren't selling. And I'm like,
Oh my
wow,
goodness.
even the guy who started Nike has the same problems that we had. You know? Like, it's just so nice to hear from successful people
so
that everyone
true.
has gone through the same things that you've
Yeah.
gone through,
Yes.
and everyone has had the same problems.
Exactly.
And it just makes you be like, okay, this is normal. I'm
Yeah.
not crazy and
Yeah.
like failing. You
Yeah.
know?
I love that you brought that up because that was part of the origin of this podcast. Was
Okay.
I would listen to so many podcasts of successful people, whether they're actors or entrepreneurs, and people tend to focus on the successes and
100%.
where they are presently. But what I was curious about is what were they doing in their 20s specifically?
Yes.
Whether it was related to where they ended up or not.
Yeah.
To
That
make
got
myself,
them there.
Yeah, that got them there.
Yeah.
Like you said, when you listen to that, it makes you feel less alone and gives you hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
And people need to talk about that
Yeah.
and hear about that.
It's
It
true
helps so
because I
much.
do find it funny how everyone expects that or thinks that they're the only one experiencing these,
Yeah.
like,
Hardships.
Whether it's like hardships, negative feelings, failure. Everyone always thinks like, oh my God, like,
Stress.
I'm anxiety.
Yeah.
Everyone
Like, I'm
thinks
the
like
only one.
everyone else is like happy and positive and
Yeah.
doing well, and it's me who's the one that's when it's not. It's like everyone is
Yeah.
experiencing their own version of that,
Yeah.
or even as a like business owner and entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Every entrepreneur, most entrepreneurs had to go through that same period that you did.
Yeah.
Yes. There's
Yeah.
almost no unique experience.
Yeah.
Someone
So
else
true.
has experienced. what you
I
experienced.
say that all the time,
Yeah.
and I feel like actually like TikTok taught me that.
Yes,
Like people
it
like
did.
where
Where people are like, oh wow, there's never been a unique human. Like someone will talk about something so niche, and everyone's like, yeah,
so true.
Yeah.
It's
Like
so
something
funny.
we all did as children.
Exactly.
You're like, I thought
and you're
that
like,
was me.
I thought that was only me.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And like we all and actually that helps me. Like on
It
a daily,
does.
I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, like you think you're special, but you're not.
You're not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're not
We're
It does
all
help.
actually the same
Mhm.
at the end of the day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For someone feeling lost in their 20s,
Mhm.
what would you recommend them do?
I think maybe going back to what I mentioned at the beginning, where it's like, think about the things that you wanted, that you would
Yeah.
want to do if nothing
Yeah.
else mattered.
Yes.
Yes.
I think because a lot of people, including me, you just like get a job out of university and you're
Yeah.
kind of just doing it, and you're like, do I like this?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
am I just doing this? I mean, obviously, people have to make money and have jobs
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
whatever. Like, most people will have that experience
Yes.
of being
Yeah.
like, I feel like I'm not really doing something that I want to be doing, but I don't know what
Yeah.
else to do.
Yeah.
I think for me that really helped, and it sounds like
Yeah.
for you guys too.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
writing screenplays, or
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
started to work in food, like
Yeah.
just thinking about what you would truly want to be doing every day
Yeah.
if nothing
Yeah.
else mattered, and then. Of course, it takes time to build up to the place where you can actually make money doing that thing. So
Yes.
you probably will still need to have a job that maybe you don't
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
But you have to be willing to explore that new thing
Yeah.
and be
Yes.
okay with the fact that it might take time.
Yep.
But you can be doing something that you don't necessarily love while also building something else on the side, and then
Yep.
hopefully
Yes.
eventually get to a place where you can pursue that other thing. And
That's
make that-
been our pivot
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we're
Being
getting jobs, we're
open-minded.
applying,
Yeah.
like we're
Yeah.
like money needs to be made.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
then it's like we're not giving up on, the big dream.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just a lot of times it takes time to get there. And a lot of times you can start doing it part time. It doesn't need to be your whole day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And another thing
Yeah.
we realized, like, again, you talking about like just put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Like screenwriting is a very like hermit job. Like it's like you're at your
Sure.
table and
Yeah.
we're writing, and it's just the three of us. And again, like we were working so hard towards this one thing.
Yeah.
But as soon as we started like getting new jobs and things like that, that's where we started to meet people. You never know like what
You
that
never
can
know.
lead to.
Yeah.
So you got to be open to like building two things at once.
100%.
It's a lot of work,
I think
but-
being open to that and understanding that might be the case for a few years is really
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think it's like all or nothing. And
Yeah.
you just quit my
Exactly.
job and go all in on this other
Yeah.
thing. And it's like,
Right.
it can be more of a slow build.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you can feel like it's a little less risky that way
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that.
Yeah.
would be my
No,
advice.
I appreciate you normalizing that because I think, again, like we've been talking about, you see this person who's made it, who's super successful,
Yes.
and you don't ever think that they're just doing what you're doing, like
No.
working multiple jobs
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever, you know.
Yeah, because people don't talk about it sometimes, but I'm sure lots of entrepreneurs started having like some random side job while they were doing their business, you know,
exactly.
and that's totally okay and normal.
Yeah.
Actually, recently, like that big show that came up recently, Overcompensating,
Which
they're doing
Ava
really
was
well.
on one episode for.
Wait, what? I
No,
love
was
that
in,
show.
like 30 seconds.
Did you
of
watch it?
Did you watch
I'm
it?
obsessed with it. Okay, because
amazing.
I am obsessed with Benny
Yeah,
and Mary
he's
Beth.
so
do you guys
sweet.
listen to their podcast?
I've listened.
not.
I have.
Oh my God.
But
Ava was on. Did you hear the part
I
where they?
was on
She
set
goes,
one
"Disgrace
day.
is here." Did you hear
Episode
that part?
7, right?
I'm
They're
not
like-
on
they're
episode
in the
7
bar?
yet.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I need to be.
Okay,
Okay,
we won't.
I think I'm on episode 5.
But
But
Ava's
I'm
in
gonna
episode
say-
7.
She's in it for like
I
10
say
seconds.
like it's like 10 seconds.
Wait, that's so cool.
But it was
How did that
filmed here in
happen?
Toronto.
Yes, I
That's
know.
why.
I know
So,
all about it.
You know,
But
yeah.
like
Yeah.
we're
We're all
obsessed with
actors,
Benny.
like,
what I'm getting
so
at,
she-
one side comment is he's the nicest person ever.
Yeah.
He was
I'm not surprised.
so
I'm
sweet.
Yeah.
obsessed with him.
Every
Skin
flawless.
single-
He's perfect.
literally-
Skin flawless.
He's beautiful.
And in
Stunning.
real life,
Yeah.
skin flawless.
I'm sure.
But I just gotta say, like that day, I was there. I was
Tell
on set one day.
everyone
Okay.
what
Tell
he
the
said to you
story.
because we want to say this because
Wait,
he's so
I'm
He
so
perfect.
deserves
obsessed with
the
this.
credit.
Okay.
No. He was so sweet. He came up to me and like I was there. I literally had 2 lines.
Okay.
And he came up to me and complimented my audition. And I was like, you did not have to do
Oh
that.
my God.
He specifically
Like,
said,
angel.
Sweet baby
What did
angel.
he say to you
So
specifically?
perfect.
We love
He was
him.
like, he remembered.
He like
What did he say?
remembered
He
how
was like,
she
I
said
loved how
it.
you said no. That was so funny.
Yeah, like he like commented something very specific. And I remember just being
my
like, you did not have
God.
to do that. Like you are
Yeah.
an angel.
That
and
is
every
so
single person on
sweet.
set, he was in a good like headspace all
Yeah.
day. He was kind to everyone. It was a long day. We were there from like 5 a.m. till like
9
10
p.m.,
p.m.
I
or
think, yeah.
something. And
Oh my God.
I
love
like
that.
I just seeing someone in his position
Yeah.
be that kind to everyone was extremely inspiring. And where I'm getting with this is I'm pretty sure I saw like he's in his 30s making this show.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he's been trying to make it for a really long
Oh,
time.
yeah.
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 So for us, it's so inspiring to see him get there after
He's
all
living,
this time.
you know, the dream of what we're trying to
Yeah,
create.
and I'm pretty
Yes.
sure he had random job. Like I was like, he had to make
I think
money
he worked
in
in
his
social
20s.
media
Like, I
at
think
some
he worked in
point.
social
Penny,
media.
if you see
like,
this, let us know.
Yeah.
tell us. Yeah,
Shout out
please.
Penny Drama.
Yeah.
We love you.
We love you.
No,
we're
like,
So-
what
really
did he do?
obsessed.
But
Wait,
like,
I love
how
this.
cool.
Okay, so he has a podcast called Ride
Yes.
with Mary Beth, who's
I've
the girl
heard
who
of it.
plays his sister
Yeah.
in the show.
Yeah.
And I have been obsessed with that podcast for like the last few years. It's
Wow.
so funny. They're
It
just
is
like
funny.
besties.
They're
It's
so
just like
funny.
a funny
I just can't believe I didn't know
Comedy
about
king and
him
queen, like-
comedy
until
king
that
and queen.
day.
Yes.
I love
And
that.
then all of last year on their podcast, they were talking about filming overcompensating.
Yeah.
So literally, like for the past year, I've been waiting for this show to come.
Oh
out.
my
Like, oh my God,
goodness.
Benny and Mary Beth are making a show. Like this is my
Oh
dream.
my
And they would talk
goodness.
about they were in Toronto all last summer.
Yeah.
They would talk
Yes.
about filming in Toronto, and
Yeah.
like they would be like, "We go to Summerhill Market." I was like,
You're
"I'm
like,
obsessed."
yes.
Yeah, it was amazing. But yeah, I'm so happy that like the show is doing so well.
Yeah.
Everyone
And I
loves it.
just-
It's so good.
Oh, it's so good.
good.
And it's just like,
Ugh.
again, as people who like,
We were
wanna
dying
be
for it to
doing
come out because
that,
we wanted to see her in it.
Yes,
but
I'm
then-
gonna look out for
but
you.
Yeah.
just like the fact that it's doing well and he cares so much. Like it's
He
his
cares so
passion.
much, and you can
It's,
tell he's
know?
like so happy. And like I
Yes.
think filming that and making that show was like
Yeah.
probably one of
The highlight of
peaks
his life.
Well,
Literally.
And I just think like again, seeing him that day, like he had that vibe.
Yeah.
Like he was like, this
It
is my
shows.
dream. He's
Yeah.
living. Like I
I love that.
love it.
And
so
Maddie
much.
said
happy
too,
for
like
people.
It does, and I
The
just
show
feel like
has so
proud
much
of him. Like I
heart.
don't
Yeah.
know him
Yeah, it
well,
does.
but like just like seeing anyone succeed in that area when
And
they
he's a
try
genuinely
the
like
best.
nice person.
with
Yeah.
such grace.
He
Yes,
was
that was
genuine
so
and
nice.
kind, and I know he's hardworking, and it's just like
Yeah.
so nice to see someone get where they wanted to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
love that.
I love it.
We love you, Benny.
Incredible.
We do.
Yeah.
We love you. I think
Shout out
everyone's
Benny.
loving Benny
Yeah,
right
shout
now.
out.
Yeah, he deserves
Mr.
it.
Glass Skin.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
Everyone's
my
jealous
God,
of
I
your
could go on
skin.
forever. His boyfriend is also really cool. I don't know if you
Yeah.
know.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's
I've
a side
heard,
combo.
I've heard.
Anyways.
We'll talk
Big
about
fans,
that later.
yeah.
Okay.
Back to the question.
Back to the question.
Yeah, we had an overcompensating.
Yeah, I loved
was
that.
fun.
I loved
Right.
that.
Fun.
20s.
It was great.
No, we had way too much. I've been
Yeah.
wanting to talk about that because I'm like, he's an angel.
Yes.
A living,
He
breathing
needs to
love
be
that I know this
publicly
now.
stated an
Yeah.
angel.
He does
Yeah.
need to be
Human.
publicly stated an angel.
Yeah. No,
and
he
we need
deserves
his
the
skincare
credit.
Yes.
routine.
Yeah.
No,
Is
go
there
ahead.
anything you wish you had enjoyed more instead of stressing about in your 20s? Or do you feel like you did a pretty good job at enjoying things?
I do feel like I did a pretty good job
Okay, good.
of enjoying my life in terms of like I spent so much time with my friends.
Yeah.
It is true what they say. One thing that is true about your 30s is there does come a point where everyone starts like getting married and having kids
Yes.
like in the same year.
Yes.
So I am really happy that I spent so much time with my friends in my 20s. Also, especially because I ended up moving away once I turned 30. I feel like I got so much time with my friends and just like had so much fun, traveled, did a lot of things that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I think in terms of work, maybe like enjoying the early years of my business a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think when you're first starting out, it feels very stressful, and it is in a lot of ways. But the reality is that, like, unfortunately, the bigger you get, the more stress comes, you know?
Yeah.
And things get more serious too. You know, that's just the nature of it. It's like, it's not bad, but I think as you grow, you just sort of develop a new set of problems and you learn to cope with them better, but the stakes are also higher because you're a bigger company and you have investors and whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So I think maybe just like enjoying the early days more. Like we thought that was so stressful at the time. Looking back, it's like, okay, well,
You're fine.
Yeah, you know, and we just spent so much time like driving around to stores and doing fun things like that we don't really get to do anymore. Recipe testing and a lot of it now, you know, the work has changed and it's a bit different now. So maybe just enjoying that a bit more.
The humble beginnings.
I love it.
Yeah, the humble beginnings. And we did enjoy it. We did have fun.
Yeah.
But it's just
Maybe
fun to
like
look
looking back, you're
soaking
like-
it in a little more.
Yeah. Mental pictures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't miss the kitchen days though.
That sounds intense.
That's fine.
Honestly.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
Don't need to go back there.
Don't need to go
Bagging
back
all
there.
the stickering all the bags. Yeah.
I love it.
Exactly.
Well, this has been such a fun, like,
so
behind the
nice.
scenes
Yeah.
look.
I love it. This has been
This was
lovely.
so fun.
So
Thank you
fun.
guys. I
Oh my
love what you're
God.
doing
Thank
here.
you.
Thank
and
you.
I hope I was able to share something helpful.
Oh,
But
you have.
Listen,
so
100%.
fun.
Yeah,
I say this all
100%
the
you
time.
have.
I learn at every podcast. I
Yeah.
hope everyone listening learns something, but
Oh,
I
they
enjoy
definitely
it so
will.
much.
I
Yeah,
learned so much.
100%.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you
I
so
love
much.
this conversation.
Me
Thank you for
too.
being
Yeah,
here.
thank
you
Thank you,
guys.
everyone. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you
Thank
for listening.
you.
Bye.